My name is Scott Occhiogrosso. I'm a partner at Block, O'Toole, and Murphy, and we're going to talk about crucial evidence in truck accident cases. One of the things that's critical in a truck accident case is, when available, getting what's commonly known as black box data. We also refer to it as the data recorder. And most commercial trucks, actually at this point, all commercial trucks are equipped with a data recorder device in the truck. They don't always function, and sometimes the force of the impact involved in an accident can disable them. But when available, a data recorder or a black box can record a number of critical and unassailable things about how the accident happened. It can show you definitively the vehicle speed at the time of impact, which oftentimes is a huge issue about whether or not a truck was speeding or whether or not the truck was braking prior to the impact. It can show if there's a sudden deceleration. It can show when's the last time the brakes were engaged prior to the impact. And beyond that, the data recorders also contain critical data about how long the driver has been in the seat. The data recorder, it records not only the moments of the accident, but it actually will record per trip. So it'll show how long the driver has been driving, and there are federal guidelines and also state guidelines in about every state in the union that restrict or regulate the number of hours a truck driver can drive consecutively for safety reasons. So a data recorder can show you all these things in a way that really is immune to cross-examination. It's raw data. So this is critical whenever available in a case. Another thing that is really crucial when available, and this was a big part of a tragic and really significant truck accident case that we worked on. The trucking companies are required to have all background information about the drivers in terms of their driving history, and they're also required to keep a record of any collisions that the driver has been in while working for the company. And there are certain remedial measures that a trucking company has to take in the event that a driver has been involved in collisions. And in that case, and all credit really is due to Dan O'Toole for this, because it was a case where on its face the liability seemed unassailable, in that the defendant driver collided with the back of the plaintiff's vehicle at a high rate of speed. The traditional hit in the rear case, where unless there's an argument that the plaintiff suddenly changed names or suddenly stopped, and there just wasn't at all in this case, it seems like, well, why are we going to dig any deeper on liability arguments? It's the quintessential home run on liability. But Dan was insistent that we get the information about the driver's history and what the company knew about the driver's history. And it turned out that the driver had been in a number of collisions, and the company hadn't taken any remedial measures, had put him right back out on the road. And that ended up being critical because it put a tremendous amount of pressure on the company to avoid this revelation coming to light. I think it was a critical factor in driving the negotiations in the case. There are certain things that you can do through the help of a qualified accident reconstruction expert. It's not going to be as exact as black box data, but there are ways that really qualified experts can go to the scene where an accident happened, and by using certain markers and dash cam footage, which is another critical piece of evidence, and again, depending on the extent of the damage, may not be available, but where it is, if there's in a situation where there's dash cam footage but there isn't black box data, an expert can extrapolate from the dash cam footage the exact location of the accident, and then use certain known markers, distance markers, and from that there are formulas where they can extrapolate the speed of the vehicle at and around the time of the impact. So that can give you a formulaic understanding of the vehicle's speed. It's not unassailable, and different experts will differ within a certain range on those calculations, but it's still reliable and and solid scientific evidence. The first thing that somebody involved in a truck accident should do is consult a qualified attorney, because there are certain steps that have to be taken to preserve this information and these critical pieces of evidence and protect against the destruction or spoliation of this evidence. And for the same reason, it's important that you work with attorneys who are experienced enough that they know when it's a case that you have to have a qualified accident reconstruction expert, and you need attorneys who are experienced enough that they know the right experts to use and they know the right questions to ask that expert. Obviously, the first thing anyone should do in an accident is seek medical attention when they're hurt. But in an accident like this, there are a lot of really important reasons why consulting with a qualified attorney is critical, and that it be done as soon as possible. In the event that you or a loved one is involved in an accident with a truck, we strongly recommend that you consult the attorneys at Block, O'Toole & Murphy. Decades and decades of experience handling these cases at the highest level, and we only want to see the best for those who are victims of these sorts of accidents.